Welcome to Shelby Podcast, a production of Shelby Systems Media. And now here's your host, Don Alsop.
On today's show, we'll be talking with Ron Chandler, Director of Customer Development and one of the newest members of Team Shelby. We'll learn all about Ron's unique approach to management. So stay right there. Ron Chandler will be joining us in just a few minutes. Plus, we'll share Ron's story from the past, his current responsibilities, and his thoughts about the future of Shelby Systems. Thanks for joining us for another Shelby Podcast, where we pledge to keep you up to date with what is going on at Shelby Systems.
I'm so excited to be on the team at Shelby Systems. I believe the best days are ahead. Shelby Systems is poised to grow and innovate.
That's today's special guest, Ron Chandler, recently appointed Director of Customer Development. Ron has a very interesting background in the church and business world. Ron Chandler has served the body of Christ in several ministerial and administrative roles over the past 34 years. Ron was awarded the NACBA Maurice Saucedo Award for National Church Administrator of the Year in 2002. He is also the founder, owner, and operator of ChurchAdminPro.com. We are indeed fortunate to have a man of this caliber and experience as our new Director of Customer Development at Shelby Systems. How is the work that Ron has already begun going to affect your ministry? Stay tuned. We'll find out next. We are privileged to have as our special guest today on Shelby Podcast, Ron Chandler. Welcome to the program, Ron. If you would, briefly tell us a little bit about your past.
Thank you, Don. It's good to be on the podcast today. I've been involved in ministry in the local church for about 34 years. By far, the major part of my ministry background has to do with church administration, both in the small church as well as in the mega church. I was ordained as a minister early on in my church staff experience. As my role developed as a church administrator, so did my experience in combining ministry and church business management. The opportunity to both manage and minister has been an exciting challenge, and it's given me many opportunities through the years to do a lot of different things.
I was looking at your webpage, Ron, and I was impressed with your background. You have experience in both the business and the church worlds. How do you think those experiences have prepared you for the work that you're doing now at Shelby?
That's a good question, Don. My management style is a combination of participating and consultating. I use the teamwork model, and I try to lead team members to participate in the decision-making process. But as a manager, I always retain the right to make the final decision when I need to do so. Personally, I try to practice servant leadership. My spiritual gifts are in the areas of administration, leadership, faith, service, and mercy, which is a unique combination of business and ministry gifting. I believe in leading by example in order to help people reach their maximum effectiveness. As it relates to the key components of leadership, I really try to drive home the importance of several things. Number one, communicate. That's so important. Whether it's customers or fellow workers or no matter who, communication is so important in all relationships. And then the key function of following up, follow up, follow up. Third, to cooperate and be a team across all lines. And then lastly, in everything we plan to do, we always plan to be successful at doing it.
You are Shelby's new Director of Customer Development. What exactly are you responsible for with that title, and what goals do you hope to accomplish?
As the Director of Customer Development, I'm responsible for 4 specific functions here in the company as they relate to customers. The first function is that of support. Obviously, this is one of the largest segments of the company. The service our support department provides is extremely important to our business. The second area is training. From the time the product is purchased, training and support are the elements in helping churches to maximize ministry with Shelby products. The third important area is education. Everything from SS tips to workbooks to online support to writing query statements comprises education. We want to help the customer better use the product. And then lastly is events. Whether they're monthly or fall and spring workshops, the International Shelby Conference, all of these things are the lifeblood of Shelby's special events. When I ponder the goals for this department, I consider several terms to describe where we will go. The first term I use to describe it is high quality. The second term is with excellence. The third term is to achieve success. And the fourth term, and I teach this in churches as well, is to celebrate victories.
If you would, Ron, please tell us about churchadminpro.com.
I'm really happy to share about this because it's part of my passion to serve the Lord. About 5 years ago, my church granted to me an 8-week sabbatical. It occurred to me about that time that a website for sharing church administration resources would be a real effective tool in sharing with other people and those who do church administration. During my sabbatical, I taught myself how to use website development software, and I actually sat down and designed Church Admin Pro during that time. Within 1 month, I had the site online and I began adding content. Now, 5 years later, I'm still adding content every day, every week. I'm still helping churches and those who do church business administration, and I still have a passion for doing that.
I heard that you are a ham radio enthusiast. How did you get involved with that?
Well, that's a very interesting question. Like all children, I had interest in various kinds of things, but one of the things that pricked my interest as a child was amateur radio, of all things. I attained my technician's license several years ago, and I've also become a collector of vintage radio equipment dating back to the 1930s, which is an era in history I really enjoy studying. I enjoy the hobby immensely. It's a great stress reliever, and it's something that allows me to get involved to a level that I've never been involved in before.
And is there anything else you'd like to add in conclusion?
Don, in closing, I would just like to share that I'm so excited to be on the team at Shelby Systems. Ernie Hamilton, the company founder, was a personal friend of mine. Frank Kennedy, our president and CEO, has continued to lead the company in a strategic, dynamic, and successful way. I believe the best days are ahead. Shelby Systems is poised to grow and innovate, to strengthen with excellence the existing products and develop exciting new products to enable churches and nonprofits worldwide to fulfill their mission and change the world. This is a forward-thinking company. The move to our new world headquarters next year, the emergence of new innovative products like Arena, and exciting enhancements to our current products bode very well for our future. Lastly, Don, I would just like to encourage everyone listening to begin now to make plans for the next International Shelby Conference on June the 17th through the 20th, 2008 in Orlando, Florida. We're going over the top this year in every way. We plan to have over 1,000 in attendance and offer the best in software training that the industry has to offer. Now's the time to plan your budget to attend. Our fall workshops begin next month, literally all over the country, and I encourage everyone to go to our website to view opportunities to attend a workshop in your area. Thank you, Don, for the opportunity to share my passion about ministry and helping churches.
Thanks, Ron, for joining us today. I hope you can now see why we are so excited about having Ron as our new Director of Customer Development at Shelby Systems. Ron is not only competent, experienced, and a Christ-centered leader, but he is at the same time a very nice person. If you'd like to learn more about the church administration website that Ron Chandler talked about, please visit churchadminpro.com. Don't miss our next program where we will interview Yinka Akinlade, vicar for Anglican Church on the Peninsula in Lagos, Nigeria. Before we go, here's our inspirational quote for the day. It's from Hebrews 12:1. Therefore, since we are surrounded by such a great cloud of witnesses, let us throw off everything that hinders and the sin that so easily entangles, and let us run with perseverance the race marked out before us.
You've been listening to Shelby Podcast with your host, Don Alsop. Shelby Podcast is produced by Shelby Systems Media and can be heard online at shelbyinc.com/podcast, or you can download the program, copy it to your iPod or MP3 player, and listen at your convenience. Make sure you click the RSS link so that you get each new show automatically. Shelby Podcast is now available on iTunes. We want to hear from you. Please send your comments, questions, or suggestions to shelbypodcast@shelbyinc.com. Thanks for listening, and tune in next time for another Shelby Podcast.